to the Wise Woman Show. I am your host, Megan Wiseman, or better yet, Wise Woman. Here we empower Christian women entrepreneurs to express their divine wisdom and follow their intuition. This is a space where diverse voices and visions of wise women are showcased to support and celebrate the power of feminine leadership in business. Hello, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I have a beautiful friend and colleague here to share some healing messages with you and her story. Her name is Emily Powell. And as you can see, she is a bright and beautiful soul. And just as beautiful as her sparkly eyes are, is how beautiful she is within. And Emily, as many of my friends are, is a healing practitioner. She is a functional trainer and a healing concierge. I hopefully said that right. And I'm excited for her to share a little bit more about herself today. So, Emily, I know you're passionate about healing, and I've known you for a little while, but I am curious to hear about how you came into this world and where did all this passion for healing come from?
Thank you, Megan. Thank you for having me. I
Yes.
adore you and I love your mission and I love being around you and all that I learn and experience from your light. So
Oh,
I'm so grateful to just be hanging out with you today.
yes, of course. I love it. So
Yeah.
fun. I love talking all things healing. So welcome.
Yes, we could do this all day.
Right?
Thank you for having me. Oh, yay. I would love to share where my entering the healing world came. And I just feel so happy to be here. I love, 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 love all things healing and love being together with other people who are talking about the same things and opening that up for people to hear and have new experiences because I'm grateful for everything and everyone who's been a part of my journey. So, my journey began early in life. Pretty young, pretty early in life, I got to experience a lot of things that helped create some pain, pain and discomfort. And so I got to learn pretty early on that that can happen. And sometimes it just stays. And then you just experience life in that state of being. And I also was a very observant child and teen and adult. And so, in addition to experiencing my own encounter with becoming fractured and wounded and broken, and seeing the ripple effects in my life of what that affected in my life and what capacities my life no longer had after gaining some wounds and fractures. I also observed other people and noticed the state they were living in and what wounds they carried and what impact it had on them. So, pretty early on, I gained a really big desire to figure out the answer to this question. Is it possible to heal during this lifetime? Or is this just gonna how it's gonna be my whole lifetime until I die and I'll get freed later? Um, and around age 14, this was really, really strong for me. Um, and as I became even more aware of the ways that even a simple wound can have far-reaching effect in your life and can affect how much joy you can feel, how much connection you can feel, how much safety, um, your ability to express yourself, your ability to feel your own feelings, to feel your own desires, to relate with other people, interact with other people. Um, I often experience it as like colors, like how colorful the world looks or how gray the world looks. And as I became aware of a lot of brokenness, I just really wanted to know if it's possible to heal. And if it is, I want to do it, whatever it takes. I want to heal. And if it is possible, I want to help other people heal and get liberated out of different hell of pain and suffering of any kind. And I really wanted to learn every way that is possible to heal. I wanted to collect and know about every single way anyone has ever healed and collect it all into one place and then identify what what different modalities and methods are useful for what kinds of things, and which ones are like super effective, which ones help a little bit, which ones help only for this thing and for that thing. And I wanted the whole world to know it was possible. Um, because as I've gone on my journey, the things that I was suffering with were like the solutions were on planet Earth. They were there. I just didn't have contact with them or know about them or have a way to access and interact and bring it into my life to experience the benefits that they could have provided. So that is where I entered the healing world, was with this big desire to figure out if you can heal. And so from age 14 on, that's been like the biggest passion of my life, studying what can help people heal on every level: mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, socially, financially, relationship wise, like relationally, if that's a word.
Mhm.
And I've been collecting it my whole life. And I'm super grateful for the news that I've experienced that you can heal. And a lot of the things that were so painful and debilitating and hurt the most in my life, the first half of my life, are gone. All of them are completely gone. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and, um, and and it's also a lifelong journey. Like, I also discover not only can I get to, like, baseline, like, normal, the ability to have access to feeling all the things that are normal, but we can keep upgrading for the rest of our life. Ah, so that is my big passion, and that's how my desire started. So then, okay, would you like to hear, like, now the story of since then?
Yes, keep going. Tell us more.
Okay. So at age 14, I arrived at this like passion of like, if it's possible, I'd like to experience life in the fullness. And I noticed that we're a holistic being: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. And I'd experienced wounds in each of those different areas and could see the ripple effect of what it created. And also noticed that because we're a holistic being, there's not like one solution for everything. And a solution in the physical arena of life isn't necessarily going to solve things in the emotional arena or the spiritual arena or relational. And so you can't just like go to a personal trainer and they're like, we'll totally help you exercise and get your muscles strong. And that should fix everything in your life. It's like, no, it might not fix emotional things, and you'll need to have um, solutions and resources for emotional things. So I noticed that as well. And it's like, we need to have like ways to help heal and optimize our health in every area of life. Because even if a person was healthy and thriving physically and spiritually and emotionally, if there was a wound mentally, it would reduce their capacity to experience life and experience themselves. So even just one wound in one category limits us from experiencing the fullness of who we really are and the fullness of what life can really be. So I had this image come to my mind of a wellness center that had everything in it, had everything in it that ever helped anyone heal. And somehow, when you walk through the door, we'd be able to assess what uniquely you needed in order to help with what your ailment, what symptoms you're currently experiencing. And we would need to have a big, like, would need to have a lot of options because everyone's unique. You can take 100 people all experiencing the symptom of anxiety, and the root cause, there could be 300, well, yeah, there could be 300 root causes because you can have multiples for each person, but every person, it could be a different cause. This person has this mineral deficiency. This person has a trapped emotion from age 6. This person learned behaviors from their ancestors that produce anxiety. Like, it could be different for everybody. And so in this healing center that came to my mind, we'd be able to identify for each person, like, oh, for you, it's vitamin K, forgiving your dad, horse therapy, and expressing yourself. Like, that's what's needed for this symptom that you're experiencing. So then I noticed, like, boy, I want everything. How am I going to do that? So I picked the route of the physical body and took that route to begin my career. and did personal training and aerobics instructing and physical therapy assisting. And but the whole time was drawn to keep collecting everything, nutrition and psychology and emotional processing and nervous system regulating, um, and just collecting everything. And so one of my biggest passions is just letting people know all of the modalities that exist and that are available so they can know what options are on planet Earth right now and how to interact with them if they feel drawn to them.
I love that. I know that you have this huge, big vision and you're doing so many things, but tell us more about you say you're a healing practitioner and you also are a functional trainer. What is it that you do within your own healing practice, I guess, and work?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I do a few different methods, focusing emotionally, mentally, energetically, and then also focusing physically. And I love the body. So, functional training is personal training that is all about longevity, biomechanics, helping your body last the longest, honoring the body and appreciating it and how it functions, and following it and how it functions instead of trying to make it do things that for other reasons. And so um, it's a lot of primitive movement and a lot of focusing on each area of the body and the way it's properly moves, is built to properly move, and then helping restore that. And I could talk about that for several hours, but I'll just give a shout out to some of my favorite modalities, which include dynamic neuromuscular stabilization, Feldenkrais, um, and I'm a big fan of a couple of other primitive movement methods. But it's so joyful. The body is built to function a certain way. And my body wasn't. I experienced, um, let's see, what is that called? Dysfunctional breathing, dysfunctional core activation, lumbar low back lordosis, flat feet. Even though I was athletic and have been very athletic and strong my whole life, my body wasn't functioning the way it was built to. It was coming up with its own new strategy of like how to move, even though it's not activating properly. And so there's these methods and modalities that help restore it back to the way that it works properly. And it helps prevent future injuries, helps prevent wear and tear on the body and the joints. And it feels amazing because we are a holistic being. When the body is stacked up properly and moving properly.
Your posture a little bit.
Everything gets so much better. Our hormones change actually. If you go into a constricted posture or a dysfunctional posture, or if you go into a stacked posture, your hormone levels will adapt and change. Same thing with stress hormones, all like the chemistry in the body changes when you're in alignment with how you're built to be versus when you're in some other form of misalignment. And so, in that area of my practice, it's all physical, working with the body, biomechanics, and movements, and it's delicious. And then the other half of my practice is healing with a variety of different energetic and mental and emotional modalities. And I do a combination of body code, deep past, fragment, integration or parts work, and mix of several other modalities I've learned um, in my energy release sessions. And those are so fun because we can work on any symptom. So mental, emotional, physical. It's so fun. And every person is unique and whatever's going on in their body and their system is unique. So it's an adventure every time to see what happens. And then once you clear the baggage or trauma or imbalances, the body restores itself and restores back to its proper function, or the emotional state restores back to its proper function. It is so fun.
I know. I love healing. It's
Right?
the
I know, I
best.
don't need to tell you.
I love watching this process. I love taking people through it. So I totally get the excitement about it. So one thing I noticed about you, and I've met you just in the last couple of years, is that you are really in tune and intuitive, and I think that helps when you have so much knowledge of all these different tools. It's probably in your best interest to follow the intuition because it's not like you're following this like set structure. You're following, okay, this is what this person needs. It's not like you're labeling this certain modality or this thing. It's like things just coming to you and you following the guidance. I guess my question is, this is a place for like feminine healers, leaders. Um, do you feel like as you've healed, that ability has strengthened, or was that something that was always a part of you? How did you like step into that intuitive? Because I see you and you'll just get an answer directly, or I've done a session with you and it's just like so clear for you. And I love that. And I think women want to know how to tap into that part of themselves as well, especially as a healer, to make sure that they're totally in alignment with light, truth, and their guidance so that they can help their sessions flow, you know?
Yeah.
So
Um,
how did you do that? How did you get in tune? Were you always like that? I know for me, as I healed, it came more easily, but I had to get all the interference out of the way. Was that the same for you?
yeah, that's such a great question. Um, yeah, so I feel like I can look back in my past and see my intuition at play.
Hmm.
Um, and the ways that it shows up for me or the ways that I experience it, like what body language, body, sensation I experience and what like mental, emotional, visual I experienced. But it definitely opened up so much more as I healed and continues to. And actually, one of the things that's pretty funny is that um, when I was entering into learning emotion code and body code and practicing it and functioning not just from my brain and what my brain can learn and understand, but functioning from intuition, it was a pretty big step for me. I know some people who've learned muscle testing or whatever their intuitive listening is in like a minute. I've watched people who are ready for that and there's, oh, okay, learned it. Like I felt it. Um, and I had to really wrestle with my brain. I spent hours, it took me several months of just practicing repeatedly, and I'd have to trick my brain. And so I do the ring and ring method, and I'd get all loosey goosey. I'd say a prayer first, and then I'd do it as soft as I could. And I'd have to like, kind of like when you learn a piano song, and then you have to just let your hands do it. Because if your brain thinks hard, you'll just like get in your own way and mess it up. So I'd have to do the same thing where I would distract my brain and I'd act like I don't care. I'm like, oh, well, I'm just like barely thinking about anything. And then I'd have to say a bunch of non-important questions and statements. Um, the carpet's purple, the carpet's tan. Um, the ceiling is wood, the ceiling's plastic. And I just have to like say a bunch of stuff without trying to like not let my brain think about it to like get to the place of like having released and gone into flow. Which I think is super common, especially if you've got um I had really lived a lot of my life from my brain instead of my heart. I'm sure a lot of people can relate. um, wounding can bring the experience of unsafety. Unsafety can bring the experience of we're not going to hang out in a vulnerable space like the heart center. We're going to hang out in the brain, and the brain is going to be my heart and my brain. It's going to do both jobs. And it will be a very like mentally functioning heart. um, anyway, so that's even in the process of learning these modalities and then practicing them, um, me practicing them was continuing my healing process of releasing the need to function from my brain and allowing intuition. And that's why, and one reason why I loved muscle testing is because it could be very brainy.
Yeah.
I could just ask specific questions, and that was so helpful. That was really helpful for me. It was kind of training wheels. And it wasn't until I had been doing it for several years before I even started noticing other intuitive, um, yeah, other intuitive senses and input coming from them. And so it continues to evolve, being around this world and other people and receiving sessions with them and hanging out with them, spending time with other people who are listening to their intuition is so, so helpful. I just I can't say that enough. Being around other women who are listening to their intuition provided the probably one of the biggest jumps in my ability to hear myself and hear my intuition, because I'd be with them and they'd listen to their intuition and reflect something to me, and I could feel in my system the resonation of it's true. It's like,
Mhm.
wow, okay, I just heard my system, my intuition respond to instead of my brain. And then also I would receive insights, not knowing that they were intuitive insights, and kind of like, hey, I'm trying to focus here, you know, stop bothering me. But then someone else would say those same insights. And I'd go, oh, okay, actually, that was a form of me receiving
Oh.
information through my intuition. So that's been very helpful to be, yeah, we totally need each other. No one,
Mhm.
we're not on the planet alone. And one of the reasons is because we need each other a lot, and we also accelerate each other.
Yes. I love your holistic view of healing because I feel like that the body is the tool for the intuition, for the spiritual that so many of us, especially us women, are trying to enhance and understand. So I just love the way that you described taking care of the body and getting the body in alignment, but then at the same time you were talking about getting your spirit and your intuition in alignment so that you can use them in conjunction with one another. So it's so beautiful. And I liked your practice because I'm the same way. Still the cat muscle test. I use my heart, but because I think too hard and I have to get out of my own head. So that's a good practice. I'm going to have to go ask funny questions so that I don't worry about what the answer might be or think I'm going to get it wrong or whatever is keeping me from muscle testing.
Oh,
Um,
man. But I want to say you don't have to muscle test. I
okay,
feel like
good.
muscle
I
test
never
is,
have. So
I feel like it's training wheels for heart listening.
oh, good. Well, I just skipped that and went straight to
You
the
just,
heart because this
yeah.
was too much. So that's good. That's a good advice for people who's like, that doesn't work for me because they can do it different. And like you said, there's other intuitive senses. I have a whole quiz on intuitive senses. So this makes sense that we're talking about it. So, so fun to hear your process and how you've gotten into your intuition as well as your healing. So just kind of like, what do you want to leave? What is your like main message that you want to share with the whole world that you would want to kind of leave us with?
My goodness. Oh, it makes me cry, even just thinking about it. I just want I would love for the whole world to know that you can heal, that you can heal. We're meant to be able to grow and to overcome. And wounds that happen are not obstacles that, like, you're just going to have a limp now for the rest of your life, after that happened. But they're meant to be experiences that we harvest knowledge and information from. I've never met a wound in myself or anyone else and any clients that didn't provide gems. Like, there are gems of wisdom and knowledge and abilities found underneath every single wound. And it's not an obstacle, it's the process. Like, that is the way is through the wounds. And every experience that, whether it wounds us or not, is helping us gain knowledge and experience for ourselves. And wounds can totally be healed. And there's more wisdom on the other side of them, which has been one of my favorite things to experience. Um, that wounds don't set us back, they can lift us up, and we can have progressed even further because we had gone through that experience in the first place. And it's just amazing news that our body is built to be able to heal itself. It's insanely intelligent. It's insanely um, miraculous how it's built and how it functions. And like, it's so beyond like anything that we can even imagine. What your body is doing right now in this exact second, it's doing like a million things that you didn't have to tell it to do. it's just incredible. The body's always looking for balance and has a lot of faculties and abilities to heal things. And same mentally, emotionally, and spiritually as well. So I would just love if the whole world can know. I would love to share the message that you can heal. There are so many resources, and it's not even, um, and it's not limited. It's not like, oh, there's only one modality that will heal everything, and if you can't access it, you're out of luck. No, there's so many that can all heal a lot of things. I love the concept that um, each continent on the earth has different plants growing on it, but it has plants that take care of everything you need. So there are different plants on that continent than this one, but the ones over here can take care of all of your needs, nutritional and medicinal, and the ones over there also can take care of all of the needs, medicinal and nutritional. So wherever you live, like the earth is built to be able to have what you need. And so same thing for modalities. Um, there are a variety that help heal emotional things. There are a variety that help heal physical things. There are a variety, and each person uniquely will have the modalities that resonate and work best for them. Will be a little palette of modalities, and it's different than everyone else's palette. And so it's just it's just incredible. Not
That's
only
so
like is
funny.
it possible, but it's abundant and it's available.
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking as soon as right when you were thinking and you said palette, I was thinking that's why it's called the healing arts. Because
Oh, I love
it's
that.
an artwork. It's like you take all these different modalities and you create an art piece, and each individual human is like the canvas, right? Where you get to paint that beautiful healing picture for each individual. And that's kind of what you started saying is like you want to have a space where someone could come in and us as healing artists could see what is it that that individual person needs? What is the healing modalities that they need to create that canvas of healing for themselves? I just love the idea because some people have lost hope that they don't have healing, or they don't know how to find it, or they think it's not possible. But I just feel like, and I feel really strongly that I need to bring up that this is a very divine and God-centered work, and that you and I know me, we have a real deep relationship with God, and that we, as healers, as those being guided to healing, are are being led to remember that what you said is like we were designed to heal. And so I just love this process, and that so many more people are learning how to heal and learning about the different healing modalities. It's just like this great awakening of healing that's been kind of lost or hidden for generations. And we're all like waking up to like this remembrance that we can heal, we can help others heal, and that healing art is definitely being brought back to the world. So I just love that you get to be a part of that process in some ways, and me too. I mean, and all of those who are doing this work. So thank you for sharing all of those things. I think you can heal is like, so it's such a hopeful message. So thank you for sharing that. Finally, is there any way that you want people to get to connect with you? Is there some way that you want them to like, after they watch this and they're like, I need Emily's bright light in my life? How would you like them to connect after hearing more about you?
Oh, thank you. Yay, I love connecting with more people. People, you can come hang out with me on YouTube, or I have a Facebook page and Instagram, and also a newsletter that you can sign up for, and a website where you can sign up for sessions and one-on-one sessions or group experiences, um, any of those places.
Okay, so we'll include all of those in the description. Is there any final thoughts? I know I kind of threw this big thing and then we're going to close it up, but do you have any thoughts you want to say before we close?
Yeah, one more thought that came to mind is, as I was just feeling the enjoyment of, I so enjoy that I can tell my 14-year-old that she can heal and she's not going to be stuck with those experiences and symptoms for the rest of her life. and that in fact her life is so much brighter than the experiences that she was in early on, and that there's an abundance of healing. There are many, many, many modalities and many options, and there's even an abundance for every situation. And that is also really joyful for me, that I can process some emotional stuff with Bach flowers, color therapy, journaling, spirit to spirit conversations, body code, cranial sacral. Like there's an abundance for each thing. It's not limited and it's not scarce. And then it can be really fun. Not only is there an abundance to choose from, but then you can be guided by God and say which one, by God and by your own intuition and your own body, which one would be best for what I'm processing right now. And it can pop up and you go, cool, let me utilize that. And so not only is it abundant, it's really fun. It's really fun. And it's just like, to me, it feels like dancing with God. This experience of seeing and noticing something for me to learn and grow so that I can up level and release whatever is wounded or a false belief. And that even the process of doing it is so abundant and is a really fun conversation between me and God. It's, yeah, it's more abundant than I think my 14-year-old could have ever hoped for. And I'm so grateful for that. And I love my life. I love this work because it just keeps getting better and better. God really provided everything that we need, and we're just getting to discover it. And it's so joyful.
Mm. That was absolutely amazing. I don't think I could say anything else but amen and hallelujah. And let's find some more joy in our healing process. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today. And if you would like to reach out and connect more with Emily, go for it. She's a beautiful soul. You won't regret it. All right.
Oh,
Bye, guys.
bye, everyone. Thanks, Megan.
Thanks for joining the Wise Woman Show. Remember, divine daughters, keep expressing your faith and femininity as you bring your powerful wisdom to this world. Like, share, comment, or subscribe to the show to stay connected.